Okay, so we've all gathered here today for a very important issue. You see, first, before we begin our meeting of the Link heads, we gotta do our chant. So repeat after me. Dragon New Warm Mountain, I believe
Dr-
in you.
Dragon New Warm
New Warm
Mountain,
Mountain,
I
believe
believe in you.
Oh no. We're off to a good start.
I love this one. The clap to sync, not so
welcome
useful
to
for
Indieheads
live.
podcast. Y'all know what's up. We
Yeah.
are doing a special one-off episode because Max submitted a patron playlist for nothing but Adrianne Lenker, and so we have gathered a meeting here of the Link heads to just talk the catalog, talk all the Big Thief, Adrianne solo, all the good stuff. So whoever wants to kick that off.
Yeah, no, it's good that we're getting
pick a
this
song that we can start from, and then we can kind of spiral outwards from there, I figure.
Well,
Yeah.
first I kind of, we should do some table setting. I feel like we should all go around with our, Adrian origin stories, probably starting with Max, since one, this is your playlist.
this is my
and
podcast.
two,
and
I think you have both, the longest and sort of most, foundational relationship with the Lenker oeuvre. Relative to either two of us.
I don't know what that word means, but
yeah, all the songs.
Yeah, no cap.
And some of the instrumentals.
Yeah. So I guess it all started, I was getting really into music back in 2017. I was working this shitty warehouse job on my winter break where I would sit at this table and cut light bulbs out of individual packages, like these small light bulbs, probably the size of a thumbnail. And I would cut them out with a paper or box cutter, and I'd put them into big boxes. I'd count 250 out, and then I'd make a big box and put those in to the I don't know what you'd call it, a bigger box, so they'd be shipped overseas for cheaper because they were individually wrapped. And so I was getting really into music, and Capacity was one of the first albums I listened to, and something about it just grabbed me. I didn't know what it was, but I think it was just Adrianne Lenker's voice and her lyricism, and I didn't get it yet, but I was I really like this. And throughout all my time listening to music, I've always been able to go back to Big Thief and Adrianne Lenker as a foundational piece of what I listen to and what I enjoy and what I look for in music. In the last 3 months, I don't know what happened, but things have gotten very dire, and so it's all I've been listening to, and now we're here on a podcast talking about it.
It's true. It is the season. I mean, we're recording this at the right time where I feel like my natural uptick would have kind of been happening anyways. And so, it's good that we're doing this now because we've all been very in the space for it.
Oh, no, for sure. A couple nights ago, I was violently high, and I was like, oh my God, it would be so cool if I could play as Adrianne Lenker in Fortnite. And then I was like, oh my God, you could have the whole band be Fortnite costumes. That'd be so cool. And then I was like, all right, we got to get this podcast out of my system now.
Yeah. You could have pigtails on Colbert variant, Max outfit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's interesting that
go to McDonald's and order the Buck Meek meal. The look on the cashier's faces will be so epic.
Oh boy, it's the toy is just a nice paisley shirt.
Well, the toy in your hand, it's real.
Oh, true,
yeah.
True.
I get the chance to ask Adrianne Lenker one question, and is, what would your ideal Happy Meal toy be?
Now I really want to know if she has ever eaten a Happy Meal, which is probably a very personal and strange question, but that feels I feel no.
I don't think so.
Not to put her on too much of a pedestal, but
I don't know.
No, but she was in a cult until she was 4.
That's what I need to know.
It's
I
true.
don't think big cult adjacent families are big McDonald's fans.
Nor touring musicians. Well, actually, that's probably not true, but I don't know. I'm just
has more of a monopoly with a touring musician market.
Yeah. I mean, my frame of reference for this is just the one time Big Thief were posting on all of the band and their personal Instagrams about how excited they were that they got a crock pot for the van. And if that's
I'm learning so much tonight.
Oh,
I
we're
think
gonna. I feel like there's gonna be so much lore drop that we've all sort of like
I am not
picked up.
familiar with any of the lore because I feel like I'm the least like I wouldn't say I'm the least pilled here necessarily, but just like I've been the shortest arc here because like for a long time I made the dire mistake of shit talking Big Thief. I thought capacity was just kind of for a while. I take all those words back now, but I immediately got proven wrong after I heard Abyscus and then later the 2019 albums. Like I heard Abyscus and I was like, oh, this is neat. And then I went back after the 2019 albums and I was just like, oh, this is just actually straight up a masterpiece.
probably between 2018 and 2020, I Googled Adrianne Lenker probably about 5 to 10 times just because I was like, yeah, she's got to be from Washington. I'd never, because I just forget that she was born in Minnesota. There's like, she's an honorary West Coaster is what I'm trying to say, because like her music has always felt like it was just recorded in the wilderness of the Pacific Northwest. And every time I'm wrong, because that's how Ufoff was recorded. And I guess I was just like, oh yeah, that's how they do all their music, no?
I've never heard it pronounced that way, and now I'm kind of reeling. Ufoff.
Wait, how do y'all pronounce it?
UFOF. I just say it.
UFOF.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
I do like that not getting capacity is sort of a fundamental touchstone in like all of our little Lenker journeys. Cause yeah, so like part of why I have all these weird lore nuggets built up is that I feel like I researched them a lot before I really started like actively listening to them. I don't know. I just kind of like read every article on them because I was so frustrated that I could not like air quotes get this band that I felt like I really wanted to. And so I just read so much about them, just trying to be like, what's happening here? And like when you read every profile on them, especially sort of during like the 2019 run, you're like, oh, these are 4 of the strangest people of all time. And I am like so glad they found each other.
They're just like
such a bizarre collective energy. And yeah, like I had the same thing where I think I was listening to Capacity as part of my 2017 album catch up or whatever in December, just trying to get everything in before list season. And I knew that was like a really big record of that year. And yeah, it just completely went in one ear, out the other. I remembered today actually like the pivotal moment that led me like away from the thief pilling path was that everyone had like hyped up Mary. And so I was like, okay, well, this has been just kind of a standard record, but surely this Mary thing, this track has got to be something, right?
It is like one of the most acclaimed songs of the decade. I'm just like,
Yeah, you're like, so it's like a 5-minute interlude? Like, what? What is everyone talking about? And then,
I mean, it's not one of my favorites. It's pretty great, though.
It is pretty great, although I still maintain I prefer the live version, which is also a sentence we're going to be saying a lot on this episode, and I think that's a very exciting part of like Big Thief fandom and Lenker fandom as a whole. Is they're kind of one of the few bands in the landscape right now where you can like have those prefer the live versions conversations about them. But I'm getting off track. I then proceeded to spend 2018 shit talking Big Thief, while still wanting to get into them, and like fast forward a year, like. Shout out to Zach and Alex really like banging the Abyscus drum. And I was like, wait, what is this? Like, who even is Adrianne Lenker? Like, I did not put 2 and 2 together. And I was like, oh, the Big Thief lady? Like, no, I'm not checking that out. Like, famous last words. There's no way the solo discography from the front woman of the Big Buzz band could possibly be better.
Big Thief is crushing local independent indie artists.
I think
Thief.
The thing about Big Thief is that if you're not very into them or you're on like the periphery, it's very easy to like hear what they say and read their interviews and be like, these Brooklyn fucks are so full of shit.
And like the way people talk about them is just so like hyperbolic. You're just like, what is this? And then you listen and you're like, what? This is fucking like folk rock? What is this? Ugh.
Yeah, and then you read the profiles around like the UFOF era, and like the bassist is talking about them having like 3-hour-long debates about like the heat in the van that makes them late for a show. And again, like you,
Buck Meek is punching a guitar.
oh, this has got to
All
be
right,
one of the
should
best
we-
images out there. Oh, just to wrap up though, like I really, really tried in 2019 with UFOF or UFOF, canonically.